this is now the third knife that I have tried from Kube. And so far, I'm very, very impressed. In fact, the first one that I got, the Royal, I just fell in love with. I always said that if this had 14C28N, I would have been super, super happy with it. And I still think that's the case, by the way. This is a fantastic knife. And then after we took a look at the Royal, we got the Monster Dog, which is this ultra stout sheep's foot design, and man, cool knife. 14C28N, of course, my favorite steel, and just a really good action as well. So on top of everything else, really great action. Loved it. And then we got the Hide, which was the most recent knife, and I have to say it's by far the best one yet. So much going for it, with one major downside. We're going to get into the downside, but first let's run through the knife itself. Let's pull these out, put these away, and let's talk about the Hide. So first of all, blade length. Blade length on this is going to come in just under 3 inches, which is fantastic, meaning it's going to be legal pretty much everywhere. But what I like is, even though it has a 3-inch blade length, it has enough handle that I'm not feeling like I'm falling off the end, and I could even choke up if I need to get right behind that edge and push really hard without losing any control. And I really like that as well. Now you may notice, oh well, before we get to this, let's finish up with the features. Deep carry pocket clip, recessed screws, fully ambidextrous clip, milled liners, okay, stainless steel stays, and opening mechanism. Check this out. It's a front flipper, but it's actually also a top flipper, because they were able to round this all the way to the back because of this awesome mechanism that they've created. The stop pin actually stops there instead of up top, and that's allowed them to use a lot more of this real estate. Very, very neat. Now, you can open this a lot of different ways. You can reverse flick it. You can flick it like you would normally with a thumb stud, no problem. And yeah, you can roll it with your thumb as well. So there's a lot of ways to open with this knife. And as you can see, the action is, well, phenomenal. This is actually fantastic, right? I've had knives substantially more expensive that don't have this kind of action. And everything is thought through well on this. The cutout right here allows it to fall and not actually come anywhere near your finger, so you can feel very confident that there's nothing you need to worry about. Especially with an action this good, that's important. Now, when you're looking at this, you might recognize the blade shape. It looks very similar to another ultra popular 3-inch blade, and that is the Pilar 3 from CRKT and designed by Vox and Ace. And I have to say, it's a good thing to emulate the blade shape, because that's a really, really versatile blade shape for everyday carry. It has a nice stout tip for use if you need to pierce something. It has a flat grind, so it's going to be nice and sturdy. And yeah, it also is going to be slicey enough to do all kinds of different tasks, whether it's utility or food prep. So all in all, really good stuff, right? But with one major problem. And the problem with this knife is price point. This knife is coming in at $70. $70 for that, $70 for this, and $60 for the Royal in D2. Now this has gone down substantially in price, and you can get for much better. I'll put an example up here. But these other two I think have remained, and I have to check on this one, but they have remained at $70, which is their MSRP. And they, at no point from the beginning of when they're released through, they gone on sale. I'm not sure why, but $70 is simply too much for 14C28N steel liners and G10. Okay, because we have a lot of examples of similar knives doing very good that are far cheaper. One of examples I can put on, now not exactly the same size, but same materials, and actually in this case micarta, which some people would agree would believe that it's an upgrade, okay? This is $55, and it actually went up in price. It used to be $50, okay? The beluga, mini beluga from Petrified Fish, a new brand coming out that's doing awesome knives. Contoured Damascus scales, ambidextrous deep carry pocket clip, milled liners, great action, and well, maybe not quite as good as the Kube, but still excellent, and multiple forms of deployment. And this knife is actually quite a good comparison because it is exactly 3 inches in blade length, just like the Kube is. And yet this comes in at 53. Now, and you can, this is the upper model. They actually have a satin, I believe it's satin and normal G10, and that is running around $48. So we are substantially higher than their competitors, and it doesn't stop there. There's others out there as well. Another great example are knives from Rake. This is a $40 knife with a steel frame lock, okay? And there are others that they make as well. They go as low as $30 with 14C28N. So the price point is just not right. I mean, you can get good knives in 14C28N as low as $30. So 70, I mean, you got to be really offering something nice for 70. At 70, I expect a milled titanium clip, right? At the very minimum, right? And possibly micarta would be great, a milled titanium clip with micarta. And the other thing I would want, personally, is less branding. And I feel like if I'm paying to showcase your name, I should pay less, not more, right? Like, I'll accept that Rake has their emblem on their blade because I'm not paying that much for it, right? I'll accept, you know, some of that. But ever since Civivi came on the scene, and I hate to bring this up, but I'm trying to maybe help Kube out a little bit here, we started to expect that I don't have to, you know, billboard for a given company, and I could still get a great value knife. If you're putting your emblem on it, you should be subtracting some cost to the consumer, because I'm doing my work. It's doing some work for you when I show it on my Instagram. And believe me, I don't want that there. I don't. It doesn't look that great in pictures. It's not very satisfying to look at. It's an eyesore on what is otherwise a beautiful knife, right? So, yeah, that's really all I have to say. I mean, it's one of the nicest 3-inch blades that I have played with. I mean, I am absolutely going to be happy to carry it, show it off, and everything else. But if I were to recommend this knife, I couldn't do it at the $70 price point. It has to drop in price. It has to. Even the criminally overpriced brand, which is CRKT, is offering their Pilar 3 with D2 at $55 on average, you know, from various different places. And so 70 is way outside the realm of the material costs here. It really needs to come down in order for it to be an option. But without, you know, other than that, I got no criticisms. They really nailed it. They really, really nailed it. It's a fantastic knife. The action is phenomenal. It's super enjoyable to use. I love how many different ways there is to actually open this thing. And the action is definitely addictive. I agree with that. So fantastic work by them. Just need to drop that price. And you could do that right now. They literally could just put them on sale right now for $55, and they would do great. They just showcase that on their Instagram profile, their various different social media, and get people hooked. Because I think this knife would hook a lot of people into the brand, even with the branding on the side, as long as the price point matches it. $55. Start there, and I think we're in great shape. Anyway, that's it for today. This is just a quick, well, I guess it was a quick showcase of the Kube Hide.